tell you, I am one of those people that has insomnia. I can't sleep. I can't focus on some days because I'm so sleep deprived, and this has helped. This is one of the mixtures that he has that helps with sleep.
Come check out owlsherbs.com, where we have all of your herbal needs and different variety of products, from sea moss to black seed oil, and a different variety of products for different health issues, because your health is your wealth. Purchase the Millionaire Savings Plan, available on Amazon.com and BrokeGeniuses.com. Learn how to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle, get out of debt, save more money, achieve your financial goals, and live a better life. What's going on, everyone? I just wanted to talk to you about some shoes that I have branded with my channel. These are called the Broke Genius line. So basically, this is the shoe that I designed. I need your support. I need about 7 orders in order to meet a production goal, in order to actually sell these shoes. Okay, now I can buy as many as probably 3 or 4. I just need a couple of people to actually uh, buy a pair of shoes. They have all sizes. These are shoes that I designed. They're $194 plus shipping, but these are high quality Italian shoes. These are like up there with the Gucci's, the Pradas. This is my own design. It's the Afrocentric design. Basically, very nice shoes. I'm gonna buy a few pair for myself, and these are, you see the logo on here. Nobody will have any shoes like this, and it's very, very unique. Red bottom soles. These are pretty much Italian made. So these shoes will definitely last a long time. It's all leather, and it's got a logo on the back, Stack or Starve, just to remind you, basically, save your money. Okay, so this will be what the box will come in right here. It's got my logo on there, nice little picture. It's not me, but it's just kind of like just a random photo. But these are the shoes here. These are like a prototype. So what will happen if you buy these shoes, they won't trigger a order until 7 orders are made. So what will happen is, if I just get a few people to actually buy these shoes, these are Broke Genius sporty low tops, what I'll do is just go ahead and just put up the money and actually buy 4 pair. And I'll probably just give away 1 pair and then maybe keep the others. So I just need a few brave individuals to put their money where their mouth is, order these nice shoes, be the life of the party, get looks wherever you go, and basically get these cool shoes. So what's going on? We're going to be talking about something today that I'm reminded of. That is basically being alone. Okay. Uh, I'm sure I'm not the only one. A lot of people probably feel comfortable talking about alone. I think it's in the room. People that are kind of rich or entertainers or whatever, they've been noted to kind of pay for friendship to a certain degree, like buy their friends a lot of gifts so they can kind of stay around or stick around. Um, Even I forget this a lot of times. Just like there's sugar daddy websites and escort websites and stuff like that, right? Because that's a part of that, right? That's a part of that lonely guy that he buys a lot of he buys sex basically, right? Because he can't necessarily get a woman by himself. He just pays for companionship or even sexual companionship, right? It's men that do that. It's men that you probably don't live around this person, and then just to note also, women are actually paying for sexual access for men too. They just don't really talk about that. They rarely talk about the fact that they do actually pay for highly attractive men that they want to sleep with. Shout out to cousin T-Taw. they don't they don't talk about the shadow world, you know what I'm saying? That basically consists of various men, right? That they pay to actually sleep with, to confide with, to you know make their um pussy holler basically and sing a sweet tune. they don't they don't talk about that. They'll never. Women are very, very, very quiet, and so quiet that if women actually spill the beans, it's almost breaking the girl code, you know, breaking the female code of silence, to actually spill the beans, to tell what actually goes on those girls' trips. You know what I'm saying? And what actually goes on in those bachelorette parties. You know, it's very interesting. You know, and it's something that I never really hear. I hardly ever hear, because let's just face it, you got men on social media, on YouTube, that actually they're anti-marriage, right? They're not really, they got a lot of problems with marriage in America, which is understandable, very, very much understandable. But I rarely hear them talk about the fact that most women, when they get married in America, I never forget last year I was living in various hotels across the Chicagoland area, and I'll never forget basically pulling into a lot with a party bus, and it was a bunch of women in the party bus, and it was a bachelorette party, right? And it kind of was intriguing because it's not like I don't know that it's bachelorette parties, right? Okay, I understand it's bachelor parties and bachelorette parties, right? But what was compelling was it kind of brought me to a point where I was kind of looking more into it and just kind of getting a gauge of a reminder of how backwards a lot of things are, in my opinion, as far as the actual dating and mating and marriage culture in America. Because let's just face it, I hear a lot of people talking about ADOS and FBA and Africans and shit like that. And guys like myself, you know, um, basically a combination of both, right? African and quote unquote ADOS or FBA or whatever you want to call FBI, CIA, NSA, like whatever you want to call yourself, right? In 2022, it's just something that very much it's new to me because yes, it is a part of, I guess you would say, my mother's culture, but a culture that she broke away from because she was like basically trying to break away from that culture. And her way of breaking away from that culture, even though she basically never really broke away, she basically had one foot in, which is quite typical for a lot of converts to Islam that were primarily, they were either whatever religion they were, um, converts to Islam. They typically have one foot in their particular religion they had before or customs, and then one foot back into the new converted faith or religion, which is pretty common, right? I've seen that. I've even had friends that were quote unquote Muslim and they were still GD till the world blew up. So I mean, it's very much culture is very much, is even, I would say, stronger than religion. But yes, some of the customs and culture is a bachelorette party, a bachelor's party. Okay. Um, and you have no idea what goes on in these parties, but when you go on Pornhub and X videos, you very much can find out what goes on, because some of those videos, yes, I think they are orchestrated, meaning that they're not real. They're just basically just a video that was made as far as entertainment. But some of those videos are very much, I in my opinion, are real, meaning there are actual people that are attending a bachelorette party. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of tripped out and kind of to a certain extent disgusting at the same time. It almost begs the question socially, is that the reason possibly that marriage is not taken so serious in this country, that basically it starts and ends with basically um two people cheating on each other. ah so yeah, um yep, so that is definitely the case. Women are definitely paying men to have sex with them, and of course also women that are young and even hot in a lot of cases, in a position of authority such as a teacher. They are intrigued to have sex with young, basically students of theirs. And yeah, they get caught. And then the question is, why do they, I've never really heard, I guess, I think the teacher's name, I was a teacher at one time. I was a computer teacher. Um and one of the ladies, I think her name was Mary Lou Letourneau or something. I think she interviewed they probably asked her why she did what she did, because she got pregnant by a 13-year-old and then later married him, and then she died at an early age. But yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff goes on, and it just begs the question: is this? I guess, in my opinion, I guess it's like they do that to basically kind of, it's a form of running away from the men that they have to choose from as far as their age. So they go to the young guys. I don't know. I don't know what the hell the reason is. I mean, to be honest, this stuff went on in the 60s and the 70s. The guys just didn't say nothing. It wasn't no, they didn't tell their parents or nothing like that. They was just having sex with their teacher. And that was pretty much it. you know, I mean, that's what the older head said, guys that's like 15 to 10 years older than me, or 20 years older, that, this ain't nothing new. They was sleeping with their teacher in the 70s, whatever. And they just didn't say nothing, you know. So it almost begs the question: do they need to put an age limit on teachers? Like, should you be 35, to be a teacher, instead of 23, and then being a high school teacher? I mean, you too close to the age of the actual students to a certain extent, right? But yeah, as I digress back to basically what women pay for, as far as their lack of being able to engage with any form of normalcy as far as a relationship is concerned. Yeah, they pay for sex. They have homosexuals. They have homosexual relationships. That's the lower tier of the male, prostitution arena, before you go up to gigolo and higher, right? Because you got basically a high class gigolo, right? So yeah, I mean, they definitely that they also pay for uh companionships and sex, but it's rarely talked about. Most of the time when you hear of any talk about buying, quote unquote, pussy, right? That's what the term is, right? Buying pussy. You always hear about men buying, women, but you rarely hear about the fact that women also buy, you know, buy sex from men, right? Or buy dick, rent a dick, right? So yeah, that is something that goes on when people a lot of times have some type of money or some type of success, and they're a loner, you know. Um Another thing is that a lot of times people, going back to being a loner, they feel lonely, and then they get depressed and sad, and some people even commit suicide because they can't take the basically the loneliness of being a loner, not really having any friends at the time that they talk to. I'll admit to you, I've exhausted all of my friends decades ago, because a lot of times, when you go through a situation where just kind of don't see eye to eye and go your separate way, or things happen, you basically gone away for some time, you basically break away from friendships and stuff like that, and just when you grow, you kind of break away. So I'm going to talk about a couple things, and as relation to this this actual phenomenon, or actually not phenomenon, but this actual topic. Okay, gonna make a couple points to bring this discussion further forward. Okay, so one of the things about, in relation to even my journey, right? This sentence is very much true. The success is a lonely road. You know, once you actually try to change your life and you try to move up the ladder of success or even income, right? Let's face it. When you're at the bottom, right? You working at, let's just say, Starbucks, working at a grocery store as a cashier. You might still be around the people that you grew up with, that went to high school with, and stuff like that. When you start moving up to middle class, that's basically an entry level corporate job or entry level, um, even managerial job, right? You start making $50,000. I mean, depending on where you live, I know people that live different places across the country. I always give this disclaimer: $50,000 isn't much in the East Coast of the United States. I know, and the West Coast, and even places down south, right? Texas, right? I mean, but yeah, $50,000 is a lot better than $20,000. Because let's face it, it's still people making $20,000. Like I'll say, for example, I was near Maryville, Indiana, and it was a lot of people don't know Indiana. A lot of places in the Midwest, it's very low income. It's a low cost of living. When you go to like Iowa, parts of Indiana, or even in Indiana, deep in Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, those places don't really have the type of economy like a New York or a Chicago or a Miami or a Los Angeles or Houston, Dallas. You know, they don't have that type of basically financial infrastructure. They just don't have that. The cost of living is low because they're paying low. So it's like basically I saw the cashier job hiring sign for a cashier for a grocery store, $10 an hour. It's $10 an hour. Okay. $10 an hour is about, yeah, the $20,000 mark. But see, here's the thing: there's houses still not too far away that is like you can get it, you can actually buy it for about 20 grand, right? You can actually save up some money. You could buy a house 20 grand that you'll need to fix up. Well, it's places in the Chicagoland area that's the cost of a plot of land, $20,000. So it's like in certain places the cost of living is very, very low. So it's like basically it makes sense why they're paying so low, right? So I mean, when you get to $50,000, like if you're making $50,000 in places like that, right? Pennsylvania, Indiana, Mississippi, right? Probably parts of Louisiana, or you basically are making a lot of money per basically how everyone else is making, or what they have, right? So it's like being a rich man and or surrounded by a lot of people that are not anywhere near as far as your income. So it's kind of like the question that I want to ask is, would you rather be a rich man around a bunch of poor people, or poor people, or a poor person around a bunch of rich people? you know that's kind of what that is, because when you making $50,000 in, like I said, parts of America to this day, you balling. A lot of people really just don't understand that, because they just, like, if they in New York, that's all they know is New York. They in LA, that's all they know is LA. They don't, they hear about other places, that the cost of living is low, but it just doesn't compute with them, because that's all they know is the hustle and bustle of trying to pay that $3,000 a month for their apartment. You know what I'm saying? $4,000, whatever, crazy cockamamie um cost of living price for apartment or mortgage, whatever the case may be. That's all they know. They locked into that. It's ingrained into their memory banks. It's, something that they, accustomed to. Anything else is like, wow, it's, they hear it, but it just doesn't register to them. But yeah, it's places in the Midwest where, yeah, if you make $50,000, you literally, I'm not gonna say you're balling, but you can probably live just like somebody that makes 100 and some thousand dollars somewhere else, because it's more than enough money to travel, depending on how your expenses is. It's enough to pay all of your bills and have a surplus. Yeah, it's just $50,000. And when you go up higher, to $120,000, right? And even $50,000, because let's just face it. Let me go open up blackdemographics.com. Let me open up blackdemographics.com so I can kind of put things in perspective for you. Okay. So let me open this up. Let me take this off. Let's see here. Let's go to economics. Let's go to employment. And let's see what's going on here. All right. Let's see if we can get down to the economics. Let's close this out. Let's go to income. Let's see what this says. You know what? I don't really like. That's why I really don't like going to that website, because it doesn't really break things down like I like it. So let me look up. Let's see here. I want to go to my income stats. Okay, let's see if we can find. Because this seems to be probably anything is more better than. Let's see here. So this is they charging for this. Let's see here. Well, they show this. Okay, this is good enough. All right, yeah, this is good enough. So I'm gonna go to different site Statista. There we go. All right. So in 2020, the median income for Black private households is $45,000. Okay, that's the median. So as far as like back to this here, most people make right in the middle. Okay, they don't. I mean, we all know that it's very few people making over $75,000, making over $100,000, right? So the thing is that once you get anything above 50, yeah, you gonna start. It's gonna start being a situation where, yeah, people that you are friends with, they like, okay, well, you just got back from Disneyland, right? So let's just say you and your husband, you make 50,000, so you make over 100,000, and that's just your job. You do other stuff, like let's just say you got a real estate license and you sell real estate, so you really make about $80,000 a year. And your husband does, work on cars on the side, so he makes an extra, $50,000 or whatever. So you really making like close to $200,000 a year combined. And your neighbors and people you went to high school with and stuff like that, they're like, okay, well, you just got back from Disney World, and they saw all the pictures and stuff like that online. And then next thing you know, you're going to, basically Jamaica. You showing up in Jamaica and everything, like, and then the questions on the comment sections like, damn, well, you just got back from and they're like, well, me and the hubby, we plan for it, about 6 months in advance or a year in advance. And you constantly traveling. They, if this is the person that's very social, that shows everything, right? Or shows a lot, right? Instagrams, Facebook, you show a nice house, you're able to afford um a housekeeper to come twice a week or once a week, help you clean, keep things organized. You have a nice house, you're going on regular trips, you have nice clothing. So those things are going to bring what is called jealousy. And then, even to be honest, this is why a lot of times when single women say they don't want a man or they don't want to be married, it's capped, because basically they do want to showcase men. Just like men want a trophy, women also want a trophy husband. A lot of times men forget that. They don't really understand that. Like, women definitely want a trophy husband. That's what they dreamed about their entire life. Trust me, I know. I grew up with women. My sisters were older than me. I had no brothers. Trust and believe. From playing Barbie and all of that shit, they want a fucking husband. It's ingrained into them. It's something that's programmed into just about everybody. They want a husband, a trophy husband. I mean, whatever that is, according to their type that they like, they actually do want that same thing that men want, as far as a trophy wife and all of that type of stuff. So yeah, I mean, when it goes to breaking the glass in the middle class, right? That road is a lonely road, because unless you want to be just bailing out all your friends and just sending them cash apps every 5 minutes, who can afford to do that? And then giving them money to prop them up, take them on your trips and all of that goofy shit. You are going to be on a lonely road for success. It's going to be lonely, because yeah, you're gonna post your trips and everything like that, whatever, you know. And then some people do it because, shout out to Beyonce, the best revenge is the paper, right? Or that paper. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have people that are envious. People, a lot of times women, they post like little snarky comments at other women that allow them to do that, or that they think that they can do that shit. Men try to do the same shit. They try it, but men they know other men and shit like that, so they they know who to comment on and all that type of stuff too. But the point is that this road is lonely. It's a road that is less traveled. It's like the Marines. You know, few will basically be called, to, basically, and few and far between, right? So it's like basically you're going to follow a path that makes you just basically lonely by default, because like I said, unless you're gonna bring all your friends up, and I'm not talking about a millionaire status or anything like that. I'm talking about just $100,000 or $75,000. That's not enough to pay for all your friends to go join you on a trip to Puerto Rico, or you know take a trip to Hawaii or whatever. It's just not enough. That's just something that you're gonna be able to do for you and whoever else is around you, or your partner, whatever. So the thing is that, yeah, it ain't gonna be too many people that could actually even join you as well. And then of course we all know about how black people do as far as traveling. It's always, I don't have the money to travel. When you talk about it first, they got the money, but then when it comes time to book the actual flights and the hotels, they don't have it. So then you have to take the trip by yourself, you know, and what I'm saying, all of that type of stuff. And I'm gonna tell you, you could follow the path of my journey from living in hotels, living with my grandparents, living with my sister. I didn't cap, no cap zone. I told you what I was doing, the struggles that I was having. I was pretty much transparent. I'm not gonna say I was 100% transparent. I probably never will be 100% transparent. I mean, that's just, I don't really know too many people that are 100% transparent. But the thing is that on my journey of all of the triumphs, all of the failures that I've had, I pretty much mostly reported everything that was going on. And from the triumphs that I've had, I pretty much put myself in a position where, yeah, it ain't too many people, man, that really are trying to follow this path. I mean, it's just not that many people. I mean, my path is that of, what I want to ultimately become, and that path is very, very rare. So with that said, yes, when you move up this pyramid chart here, it's going to be a lonely road ahead. It's nothing that you should feel bad about. It's nothing that you should, you're gonna, have some moments where those contacts become basically a little bit more empty than they were. Just, just a heads up. It's not necessarily you. It's just pretty much that's just how the pill. That's how the pill goes down. Because once you make the path towards success, few will be trying to join that journey. Some will try, but not everyone is going to be successful. So next, is, unfortunately, the goals you accomplish will put you in rare statistics. Okay, rare statistics. What do I mean by that? Okay, so let's see here. All right, yeah, this will pretty much explain it. But this is well beyond my pay rate right here. This is not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about right here. So, yeah, let's just say you've gotten to the point where you've gotten out of debt like myself, and you've put yourself in a situation where you also became a homeowner. You actually have the deed and the title for your property. You are in a rare position in America. You don't even have to be rich. You're already in a rare position in America.
Message.
I mean, unfortunately, this is where you pretty much are. Let me go. Let me open something up. Let me open up something to just remind you. And this is not something. This is something that I learned. This is something that I learned from a guy that used to be on WVON. I forgot the name. I forgot his name, but um, I think it's Kendall. Yeah, it's Kendall Moore. I think his name is Kendall Moore. He kind of reminded me of this actual um this actual um the monarchy system, basically, because basically when the Europeans came across to America, they brought a very similar system. It might be worded, a lot of stuff is worded different, but it's still the same system. Okay, it's still the same system. Okay, so yeah, this is very very good right here. Very very good. So let me see here. Yeah, this is pretty deep, pretty good right here. And this is what a lot of I would say I won't say a lot, but a lot of I would think that white people definitely know about this. It's one of the things they probably don't really talk about, because a lot of times people are very quiet, and it rightfully so, because when you're quiet, it really gives you. I really spill a lot of things that basically if I just kept it to myself, I could just utilize it for my own gain, and just just be like la di da da, and then just continue on my path, and what I'm saying, be successful, and just be like whatever, you know even though I don't really even get support. I mean, I get views. People watch me, and then they just talk just like me, and then they act as if that they, you know, never never mention me or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But it's whatever. But this is what primarily is still going on to this day. Okay, the serfs, peasants, merchants, farmers, craftsmen, then knights, then vassals. You know, what's a vassal? Let's look up vassals. A vassal is a holder of land by feudal tenure over conditions of homage and allegiance. So, like, yeah, the king, he owned the land, and he would sometimes even just give land away to vassals, like a lord, a count. Um, those are vassals. A land baron, right? So let me also show you. See, the thing is that this shit. Okay, I be trying to tell y'all, man. I be trying to tell y'all, but y'all don't be listening, man.
The shit's chess, it ain't checkers.
I mean, I be trying to tell y'all, man. Y'all don't be listening, man. Y'all don't be listening. Be trying to tell y'all. Y'all do not be listening, man. Let me share this on my Facebook. Be trying to tell y'all. They ain't do nothing but just brought the same system over here on the low. So everybody don't got to know. Brought the same system over here. It's just called a different type of thing or whatever. They still have counties, right? They still have they have a town in Illinois called Barrington, Illinois. Let me show you how rich these properties are in Barrington, Illinois. Oh my God. Like, man, let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. It's literally like it's just literal. It's very, very literal. Let me show you these properties. They have a Barrington, Illinois. So how much do I have to tell you, man? How many times do I have to tell you? You already know? I'm just speaking to the choir. How many times do I have to tell you folks, man? This is Barrington Hills, Illinois. This is very much near where Michael Jordan's um, mansion is. Like I say, vassals. I mean, basically, most people. Like I say, let me put this back on here. Let me put this banner back on here. Like I say, I mean, most people are following the commonality of they're trying to like basically this here. They're trying to do this here. This is what they're doing. Then you get burned out. I done watch my parents, man. I done seen my parents. I seen other family members, and I knew what not to do to avoid it if all possible. Trying to fake be rich, be fake rich. Fake success. And it's cool. I get it, right? Most people do that. Most people use rich people's money, i.e., mortgage, i.e., car loans, right? To look as if they're successful by using rich people's, money, basically credit. I call it rich people's money. But unfortunately, those don't put you in rare statistics. That ain't real. It's fake. When you go buy a house, you know, you go you buy a house when you get a deed, a property deed. You go to a title company typically, and you get a deed of title. When you go to sign mortgage documents, you get an interest rate. You get interest rate. You get a basically all kind of paperwork for the payment schedule of the 30-year mortgage. You get the all the other stuff like forbearance paperwork and all this other stuff, man, that you sign when you get a mortgage. And they tell you this is the payment schedule, and you sign all of this paperwork to get a loan for a mortgage. And you get it in a nice neighborhood, right? I get it, right? The kids is safe. It's a very good school system. I get it. I'm not knocking that. But when you're doing it and you're pretending that you're successful, and then you looking down, you like I say, that's why let me post that the title, the thumbnail. Let me post the thumbnail real quick. Let me post the thumbnail. Let's see. I could probably, this one can I remove? I got all this stuff here. Okay, so I can remove this one. I got so many pictures. Let me remove one of these. Add this here. The thing is that you're taught that because a person doesn't live in a rich neighborhood, quote unquote, or middle class neighborhood, whatever the case may be, and they don't have the nice car, that they're not financially successful. This is the rouge that are making people broke, man. This is the rouge that is making people just having hard times. Everybody trying to keep up with the Joneses. See, I peeped it. I saw 2008 market crash taught me everything damn near that I needed to know. That was when I started to take my journey towards financial education. I said, oh hell no. I said, oh shit. It was like the reverse of the whole job thing where they can't find nobody to work. It was like 50 people applying for one job, 50 people showing up to an interview for two positions in 2008. That's how that worked. That's how that went down. 75 people, 100 people applying for a position is two vacancies. And the thing about it is, a lot of people were losing their properties. Investment REITs were losing their properties. through foreclosure. That's why a lot of these properties in, if you show me any town like Detroit, Gary, Indiana, any town that has a lot of like abandoned houses, a lot of those was from the 2008 market crash. People couldn't pay for their mortgage. They couldn't pay for it. But when you become in the rare statistic category, like myself, you understand real versus fake. It's a difference between real versus fake. A lot of times, living in reality is very much an important thing to focus on. Reality.
Message.
A lot of people are not really dealing with reality. They're watching reality TV, but they're not dealing with their own reality. Your own reality may be different depending on the person to person, but once I realized my reality was real versus fake. What's real versus fake is, yeah, you could lose your house if you lose your job. You ain't gonna be able to pay for it. Once you lose your job, you're not able to pay for a mortgage or pay for rent. It's based off of basically whatever savings you have and your income. That alone taught me everything I need to know. Like, for example, I ain't it's many times, okay, a lot of times people don't like to deal with discrimination, right? You know, they like to pretend as if it's no discrimination. Like, I mean, you know, Wells Fargo getting caught, you know, giving black people terrible loans and Hispanics. I don't know, all of these countless news stories of discrimination. It's just right in your face, but it's no discrimination, right? Well, I know it's discrimination. I ain't the first time. I've gotten fired so many times for just some stupid shit, for just being a black alpha male, probably around a whole bunch of people, whatever, or whatever the fucking case may be. I gotten let go, right? And that taught me that basically if I'm going to get fucking let go from jobs and shit like that, I need to be I need to basically zero my life around the fact that I'm not gonna probably be able to have no money to pay no goddamn mortgage or no rent. So I need to fucking pay for everything cash while I actually have it. So I can actually buy property and not have no damn mortgage or no rent. I got friends, I got friends of mine that basically they don't work. I don't know if they working now, but I got a friend of mine that basically they told me like I can't work, man. I don't know how you able to do it, but I'm not able to do it, man. You know, I can run my business, my retail business, sell my herbs, I mean sell my oils and my shea butter and my black soap, my oil candles, oil burners and everything like that, my body oils, but I can't work no job. I'm retarded when it comes to a job. You know, I got friends, man, they've been in business for years and they can't work no damn job, man, cuz it's just it just can't really deal with all of that shit. And then not being able to get paid, having to wait for 2 weeks to get paid and all of that other stuff, the rat race and all of that stuff. Like, I mean, honestly, it's a lot more people like that than you really understand. I mean, a lot of people have just been in business for years. My grandfather, that was a millionaire, he had his businesses for several decades, for like about since the 1960s. He started with a pharmacy, and then he opened a liquor store, and then a laundromat, and he had a lounge, and then he had apartments above on 75th and Cottage Grove in Chicago. And he didn't start like, basically he didn't sell his business. He sold his business to some Arabians in the basically the early 90s, actually the late 90s. He been in business for like 30 years. I mean, I pretty much got the blueprint from him. And it's like, yeah, my other friend, he kind of helped me mentor to start a business and stuff. He helped me, start a business as well, because he kind of seeing him do it in real time. It kind of helped me start mine. But I ain't necessarily followed my grandfather's blueprint. That's why I wasn't successful in business. But I know what to do now. Follow that blueprint my grandfather left for me, and that's it. He used to teach his blueprint, and I got the blueprint. Unfortunately, the blueprint is very difficult to follow. I'll just tell you that. It's very difficult to follow. If you follow his blueprint, it's definitely going to be difficult for you. It's going to be a lot of things you don't want to do. And there's some things that he probably could have done different. I asked him before he died, why he did, certain things. And he just pretty much said that's the way he wanted to do it. But I'm going to tell you, if you think now being rare to be a millionaire entrepreneur, and he had employees as well, like to actually be a millionaire in the 80s and be a black man and a millionaire in the 80s was damn near unheard of. Damn near you damn near, you're not even a unicorn. You a goddamn alien from another planet if you was a millionaire in the 80s and being a black man, before all of the internet, for how easy it is now with all these apps and everything like that, and startups and shit. Like, it was fucking none of that. People didn't even use credit cards, rarely use credit cards. And if they used a credit card, it was like a manual machine where you had to just use some carbon copy paper and then basically swipe the card and hope the shit ain't go through. I mean, hope the shit was not a fraudulent transaction. Like, nobody even took credit cards in the 80s. But yes, you're gonna be in a rare statistic when you get to a certain level, when you get out of debt, when you have, you could even pretty much, I ain't got no problem. Shout out to what is it, savings minus debt. When you just have $1, if you have a net worth of $1, I mean, basically you richer than most people in America. And you ain't got, like, you got a net worth, an actual net worth, you richer than most people in America at that point. I mean, you have basically anything over $1, you rich, you already rich than most people probably even will ever be, unfortunately. I mean, anything above $1 is like pretty much, it's in rare form. And this is the path of wealth right here. Assets over liabilities. This is the secret. This is what they don't tell you. What I've been saying for the last umpteenth years. Assets over liabilities. And other people have said that. But let me go back to this actual chart here. This is still going on to this day. This is still going on. This is what they brought over to America from Europe, and they got from Africa. Right here. This is what they got, and this is the same system over here. Same. So yeah, I mean, this is a lonely situation, man. A lonely world, you know. Also, having zero tolerance for disrespect will put a lot of people at distance from you. You know, basically, when you have financial independence, when you ain't gotta basically listen to nobody, because you don't necessarily have no need for them like that. When you need people treat you a certain way, and they try to disrespect you. Even women do that a lot. They disrespecting men just off of just the fact that they getting away with it with other guys. It's like, all right, block, all right. And then they know you don't have to explain nothing. Don't need no end of relationship explanation. None of that. They know where they fucked up. They gonna be thinking about that shit from time to time. Damn, I got blocked. I done hung the phone up on this man, and he blocked me. He done fucking blocked my ass. Damn. You know, I done got out of pocket, and then he blocked me. Because I mean, yeah, dudes, it's like, okay, whatever. All right. You know, ain't too much like, okay, a chick that you possibly about to have sex with and all of that type of stuff, like possible relationship. It's kind of difficult to, I ain't gonna say it's easy to block women like that or whatever. It's an easy situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes, come on. Join this block list, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, you want everything free 99. You know what I'm saying? You ain't, you know what I'm saying, giving me no cash apps. You ain't giving me no acknowledgments, no shout outs or nothing, man. Come on, join this block list, bro. You trying to reach out to me, asking me questions and shit about stuff that I would charge. You ain't giving me no consultation, nothing. Man, I respect my time just like I respect anybody else's time. If I reach out to somebody, I'm reaching out to them, giving them some information at the very least. And I might have some valuable information or whatever, whatever, man. I mean, the end of the day, I respect people's time, and I respect, people's, bank accounts. A lot of people don't probably go that far, but it's a certain level of respect that I definitely for it. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't put everybody in categories and shit. It's like, oh, I respect this person, but I don't respect this person. No, I don't do that shit. That's mental illness when you do that. Putting everybody in little boxes and categories. This is another one. Being highly intelligent will leave you with a few that will understand you. I mean, this is just something that just kind of happens. I mean, it ain't necessarily, it's just part of just, it just is what it is. I mean, basically, some of the most smartest individuals that walked this earth was the least understood. It just is what it is. It's just that's just part of life. You know, being like, just if you know anything about, what is it, the guy that they talk about now, the nuclear physicist. Like, don't nobody even know what that is. Like, let alone what he actually does and how much he makes and all of that. Like, they just don't even know. Like, the average person doesn't know that. Like, I mean, they just don't. They don't know what that is. They don't know what no nuclear physicist is. They have no clue. They don't know anything. Like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really like talking to women that don't really that are basically not intelligent. One of the things that I really don't mention. This is one thing that I'll say. Some of the women that I've been with are lawyers, judges, doctors. I mean, detectives. Like, I don't mess with no dumb bras. One of the things when I was, basically, one of the things that I could say is why I was willing to take a risk or two or whatever. I wouldn't mess with no dumbass bras. At the end of the day, if I bust in them and had a baby, I knew that they had at least a better level of intelligence than an average chick. Even my the dumbest chick I've ever been with or whatever. she she's still somewhat smarter than the average motherfucking woman and shit. Like, not the smartest, but I mean, I just tried to make sure I wasn't messing with no motherfucking dumbass broads, man. Like, that's just off top. Like, I mean, I did not like wanna, what I'm saying, like, at my worst day, I don't care what the hell. Like, I was not trying to motherfucking mess with no chick that's a dummy. Just that was just my whole thing. It still is to this day. Like, I ain't saying you gonna be as intelligent as I am. I mean, ain't that many women that's probably gonna be in that category, but I mean, it helps if I can talk to you. If I can talk to, like, it's very few women that I could talk to, as far as dialogue with. Most people's conversations is basic. Like, you talk about the news, weather, politics, maybe. Um, sometimes maybe you could talk about the economy a little bit, but when you getting into the European Renaissance and the ancient Roman Empire, the Goths and the Visigoths and the Hans Empire, and even indigenous Europeans. That's a conversation that very few women can have with me, or even men in general. Like, I would have to search for people that talk about that on YouTube or whatever. Like, I don't, then the average person is just talking about on the road again, like, just gas prices in the United States. Like, I mean, yeah, gas prices is a bitch. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm going to the damn gas station like a crackhead goes to a crack house like every 3 hours. Like, I mean, the fuck? Like, but the thing is that yeah, it's like certain levels of conversation I'm rarely able to have with certain people. Like, it's because a lot of people are just don't understand. It's the frequency is very much not at the highest level, and I accept that and I just move on. I mean, it is what it is, but that's also gonna put you on a certain level. You know, just think of an artist. Just think of an artist. Like they only understand their art. They the only ones that understand it. Very few people understand their art. That alone, puts them in a certain level where they're gonna be misunderstood. This is another one, and I guess I'll go back to this chart right here. This is another one that is very much very hard for people to accept. Hierarchy. Very hard pill for people to swallow. That's why a lot of times people don't like the fact that, especially black people, they don't like their elites and their scholars. The elites is basically the rich people, rich black people, because yeah, one of the things about having a business, you know, you have to hire someone, right? And a lot of times it's hard dealing with black people because they don't accept the fact that you are, over them. They have to work for you. It's very hard for some people, especially black people. They want to have kind of like a brother, sister, friend, cousin type of relationship with you, and in the job, in their job with you. Like they want to work for you, and then kind of have like a family type of dynamic with you, which I mean, maybe to a certain degree I can understand that a little bit. But when they work for white folks, they don't. It's very well defined. you know um they don't come at them like that. They very much know, okay, this is what I gotta do, clock in, go to work, and this is what I gotta do to keep my job. I gotta be here at this time. And there's absolutely no problems, hardly whatsoever. As long as they get paid, fine, right? But when you work for a black person, a lot of times they have a hard time understanding hierarchy, even outside of the business world or job world or whatever. They don't accept the fact that you even are more intelligent than they are, more studied than they are, more definitely have more money. They don't like the fact that you have more money than they have, or have more financial advice than they have. It's like they think everybody is. And then these same people, they watch boxing. They know people knock out other people. It might be somebody that's undefeated. They still think that somebody's gonna knock this person out, or they don't accept the fact that he's undefeated, or whatever the case may be. I mean, they know people get, okay, this guy's knocked out so many other people, he's undefeated. But okay, in intelligence, in the arena of intelligence, they think everybody is just as intelligent as everybody else.
You big dummy.
So, lastly, I'm gonna close with this one. Once you are financially successful, right? Once you have that layer of financial success, I mean, basically, it's a situation that I believe, in my opinion, it does help to look at things from a financial perspective, because there's no fear of, okay, she's gonna take up my wealth or whatever. You get a prenup, right? If you want to go down that road, you make $1 million a year, you make $100,000 a year. Doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but I mean, basically, from a perspective financially, you you coming in a door, with a certain level of financial success, to where you can already pay your bills and pay for what you need to pay for. This is from a perspective of the man that has some type of net worth, right? You already coming in the door, and you have a certain level of success already. You already have um some type of success to bring forth some type of authority. You don't necessarily have to worry about, is she gonna pay 50%? You already have enough money, to take care of what needs to be taken care of. When you look at it like, okay, well, the worst thing that could happen is basically she could put me on child support. She could put me on child support, right? Well, if you already have, your money together, you talk to some lawyers, you got your money in the Grand Caymans, or Swiss banks, you know what I'm saying? You got a few monies over here, few monies over there, you know what I'm saying? You already got your financial life secured. I mean, you got things in perspective to a certain degree. And then here's the kicker. I don't really talk about this, but you have a certain level of sexual mastery. Sexual mastery. You can control your seed without using some type of, or whatever. If you just even use condoms, I mean, shout out Magnums. Magnums is still what's up. You have some level of control, right? Even if you don't have any control, you don't have no control. You use rubbers, but you still, worst case scenario, have things under control. Financially, you have a certain level of financial security. You look at things like from a financial perspective, is like, okay, well, you know you ain't necessary. I ain't talking about leading with your wallet or nothing like that. I'm just saying, basically, you a rich man, you're a wealthy man, and you still dating and mating. Well, if you have your financial house in order, and you have, you know, your financial you know, basically your accounts is secured, you know, basically you still at a risk, right? Because, you know, in this country, they can, you know what I'm saying, once they get that baby. And here's another thing. This is just some advice. It's not foolproof, but if you deal with a woman that's not broke, which a lot of guys, they don't want to deal with the woman that's not broke. If you deal with a woman that's not broke, I'm just saying it might be something to that. It might be something to that. I'll just say it like that. If you deal with because a lot of men, they do not deal with, you know, women that are not broke. Most women are broke, right? So if you deal with the woman that's not broke, it might be something to that. Shout out to T.I. It might be something to that if you deal with the woman that's not broke.
Message.
Okay, Allie, show me your ring.
Oh, here.
Now, tell me what you do for a living.
Oh, I love my husband.
And how did you get that awesome job?
Well, I became a better human being, and I became feminine and also shocking, submissive. So that was the secret.
So what are your tips to women that want to be a housewife?
To embrace it. It's an actual job. You just can't get it in the public or private sector. Like, you need a man to hire you for it, but that's okay. Because if you think about it, you submit to your boss who makes you clean stupid shelves at your retail job, right? Like, wouldn't it be better if you were cleaning your own shelves at home? You know what I mean? And your boss wants to sleep with you in a good way. In a good way.
And where do you meet these men?
Well, I think women should work for the men that they want to pursue. I know that sounds crazy, but it's really easy. So if you think about it, like, you want a lawyer, right? So then you should be a paralegal, or if you want a dentist, then you should be a dental hygienist. But these are considered, I guess, high value status professions. But I think that's a really good model that not enough women utilize, because women will bully the woman who is the secretary that marries the doctor, okay? But who has the last laugh? Like, her in her McMansion with her husband who's high and the babies. Like, that's who has the last laugh. So,
Allie, how do you feel about the women that are saying this is heartbreakingly sad?
I mean, I don't know. I get my back blown out regularly. I am fully paid for survival. I have my own autonomy. I also do my own work. So, like, I just don't see what's wrong with my situation, but they can ask themselves why they're single if they want.